we'll kick it off then. We've got a little bit of a list of people who are looking to present for today.
Awesome.
And it's looking very nice. So we're going to kick it off with a ZPIT automation, with sort of like an adaptation of a pre-existing project that he's got called Bubble.
Yep, cool.
So feel free
Hey.
to introduce yourself. Take it away.
How's it going? Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear you perfect.
Yeah, let me see if I can share my screen here. Let's see. Go live. How's this? Can you see that?
I can see it perfectly fine. If anybody else can't, then by all means let us know. But it comes through perfectly fine.
How's the resolution? How's the resolution for you guys? Do you need me to make it a little bit bigger?
If you could make the window slightly larger, I think, for anybody who maybe has a small screen.
Let's see if I can do that. That looking good?
Yep, that looks great.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Hey, folks. My name is Zubin. I am the founder of Bubble Software Corp, and I want to give you guys a presentation that may be very relevant to you at this point in time. And you guys ready for it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, can everybody speak interactively, or is it just going to be me?
Well, I mean, we'll be able to, who are also on the stage, and then everybody else can sort of contribute with questions via the text box. So if anything pops up when there's a nice break, I'll be able to interject and ask those questions for people in the chat, or if you have the chat open yourself, you can address them.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so somebody once asked Abraham Lincoln, "What's your secret to cutting down trees so fast?" He responded, "Well, if you give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, I'll spend the first 5 sharpening the axe." And then similarly, Albert Einstein once said, "If I had an hour to solve a problem and my life depended on it, I would spend the first 55 minutes determining the proper question to ask, because once I know the proper question, I can then solve the problem in less than 5 minutes." Well, this is specifically what the essence of DevOps and IT automation is. And like Albert Einstein and like Lincoln, I've dedicated the last few years to finding the right question and sharpening my axe, specifically in the world of high performance computing and IT automation. I've built a product called Bubbles, which is an IT automation platform, and it's really the culmination of all my knowledge. And, here's why I've been relentlessly building this platform. Yes, it's about bringing your software and services to market faster, but it's more than just efficiency. Quite frankly, I'm fed up of the big four: AWS, Azure, GCP, and Alibaba. And I think it's about time that we challenge their dominance and monopoly, because it's stifling competition and it's centralizing way too much power. I mean, look at what they're doing with the GPU supply right now. And I know many of you here, because you're here, share the same sentiments. You guys see the value of decentralization. You guys are breaking the chains, and you guys are pioneering a new way. I'm pretty impressed with the Commune community, and I can see that you guys are all about making technology more democratic. And really, let's be honest, fuck those guys, right? Let's not sit back and watch these guys dictate the game. Let's steer this ship ourselves. And a big reason why I'm here today is to empower those who are going to be the conduits of change. We got to redefine the landscape and give these guys a big run for their money. So I want to show you what I've built so far. But more importantly, I'm inviting you guys to join me and help me perfect this platform, because I'm envisioning a world where we have thousands of smaller data centers all over the place using this. And with your contribution and your input, we can finalize a system that not only competes with the big guys, but we can free ourselves from their grip, fatten our wallets along the way, just enough so that we can give them a good beatdown. Are you guys ready to see it?
Yeah, it sounds great. I'm really excited.
Awesome. Okay, so the key to ID automation is virtualization. Without that, it makes automation very difficult. The virtualization platform that I originally built this for was VMware. However, the big guys have striked again. I don't know if you heard about Broadcom and VMware. Broadcom bought VMware just a couple of months ago for $69 billion. There used to be a free platform and a free tier of VMware, but not only did they eliminate it, they 4x their prices. So my goal right now is to do a full port over to the Proxmox hypervisor. Not sure how many of you guys have heard about it, but it's a free and open source hypervisor based on KVM. Let me show you right now what I got currently working with VMware, and then I'll show you my proof of concept with Proxmox specifically for GPU automation. So I've compiled a list of open source softwares together. Bubbles is what I've built. So I'm going to log in and show you. Here we go. How's the size for you guys?
Yep, that's perfect.
Yep. All right, let me put together something here. So I know that for a lot of people starting in the game, setting up IT infrastructure, setting up your software, it takes a long time. And my goal is to reduce that into just a couple of minutes. And this is essentially a turnkey platform. So how I've organized it is that I've made it into different projects that you can have. So I did a little demo for you guys here, Commune AI. This is not working with GPUs at the moment. So let me show you this. So, and this is just a proof of concept. So if you can follow along, that would be great here.
Mhm.
So I'm logged in to the project. What my project will look like is I've created a couple of instances,
Mhm.
and let's say one instance will be the UI, one instance would be a DB. However you guys are building it, I think that you guys have got a Ubuntu platform where you then run software for the commune and it talks to the GPU. So here I can say I want one instance. I can assign however much RAM, however much CPU, however much disk space.
Mhm.
Then for each of the instance, I can attach a profile, and the profile contains the configuration on how you want to set up that instance. And I can define the profile inside the profile section here. And
Okay.
what it looks like is that, you know, you choose your operating system, and then you choose how you want that operating system to be configured. I'll choose the operating system here. I'll choose configuration here. I choose how the configuration looks like here. So however you guys are setting up your commune stack,
Mhm.
you would put the information in here, right? And then you can create different version controls of it. So as you guys iterate on it, you can choose and keep a history of what's working, and choose to provision whichever version that you want. And then after your instances have been provisioned, you can run hook scripts to do more automation. So I know that you guys open up ports in the firewall, so you can set up more automation to say, hey, I want to go, once this instance has been spun up, go open up ports to a firewall. You can literally do whatever you want over here, and then you can save the configuration. Now,
But for
once
now, when it comes to this, for example, people are going to have to set up each of these templates themselves, or is the plan sort of, do you think, to try and get in touch with anybody who can help you build templates for when new things are released so that the accessibility is already there?
Oh, definitely, definitely. So what I plan to do is also to integrate a store into this. So for
Mm.
example, if you've got your configuration for however you want to configure your instance, you can save it over here, but you can also download whatever somebody else has configured. You
Okay.
actually import it in here as well. So then that way, let's say that you've got a particular configuration for your application, your module.
Mhm.
Somebody else has an configuration for their module. You should be able to just put it into this profile, put it into the bubble type, add the the bubble type is basically your environment. Add the profile to whatever instance, specify how long you want to do it, or specify how big you want your instance to be. And once it's there, anybody can come in and then just spin up their instance. I call it a bubble. The reason why I call it a bubble is that originally, that if you had many people working on a platform together, you want to develop and test in your own bubble so that your changes don't affect somebody else's changes.
Okay.
And so right now, you can configure bubbles to, when you spin up your instances, to spin up across a single GPU or sorry, a single hypervisor, or across multiple hypervisors. So let's say that you guys are running 10 hypervisors and they've all got GPUs in there. What I'm looking to do here is that for each of the instance, I want another section here which says I want 4 GPUs, I want 2 GPUs, I want 1 GPU, 8 GPUs, whatever you want. So that when you actually blow this bubble, it goes and spins up the Ubuntu instance. It runs the configuration for your commune, and then you should be able to see all the GPUs, however many you assign here. What this also allows you to do is that, let's say that you've got 1 GPU server, you've got 8 GPUs in there, you can share that GPU with multiple developers, or that server with multiple developers. So
Okay.
that can be more cost efficient for you guys. So if
So
you
one
go for it.
consideration is obviously from like a non-total development standpoint, this is effectively just streamlining and optimizing the ability to set up any form of module on the system, correct?
Correct.
And so one of the main components of setting up these modules is obviously having your own key or your own address, or parts of the code that already exist that you have to change. Is there a plan to sort of implement a functionality where you'd be able to make those step-by-step changes within bubbles, or would you still have to do it within the actual code that's being uploaded for the template?
No, it's going to be with I don't want anybody to actually, I want everybody just to basically use it in the UI.
Okay.
So I can help with showing you how that would work. But really, once you've got this platform, you don't need to go into the underlying layer. So I've made this quite modular, so it's
Okay.
easy to add on more plugins. That will be showing you on the back end, which I'm totally down to do. Because keep in mind that this is actually originally a CLI tool. So everything is on the command line, and I've put the UI on top of there. So when I'm wanting to add more plugins, like really, all these are plugins that are integrated in here. So this is just basically what I built. And then I configured it to actually plug in, to pull in, like, hey, I pull in a username, I pull in all their keys from here. I can say that I want my instance to be monitored by a monitoring server. I've integrated a Git repository so that you can actually pull in from Git. So it's definitely a long way for a farther along for in its production for software development. What I'm really looking to do is pull in the GPU automation aspect for it.
Okay.
So let me give you a quick demo here. So if I go blow a bubble, I will go choose a bubble, Commune AI. Let's see here. I can say keep for however many days, blow a bubble. And right now, what it's going to do is Bubbles is going to talk to all your GPU hypervisors. It's going to find it's going to select the GPU with the most appropriate space and the number of free GPUs available. So let's say that you've got 10 GPU servers and half of them are all being used. This is going to go find the ones that are not being used. If you've got a GPU server with 8 GPUs, but you only need 4 and 4 is available, it'll go to that 4 and it'll spin up the instance importing that 4.
So is
So
this planned to, in terms of like having the actual hardware for this, is this something that you're planning to potentially provide to people, or is this something that they're going to be able to make use of with their own hardware?
originally their own hardware. If I'm further on the line, yes, I would love to make partnerships I'd be
Mhm.
like, hey guys, I'm gonna send you your own turnkey private cloud GPU infrastructure.
Yeah.
So, you don't have to do anything. But honestly, if you've got your own systems, Proxmox runs on pretty much everything. It's
Mhm.
based on Debian. So, you run Proxmox, you install Bubbles, which is really a virtual appliance. You don't have to run it on the GPU server. You can run it outside one of the GPU servers. It's probably
Mhm.
more cost efficient that way. You just need to connect it to the GPU servers, right? So that
Mhm.
means just basically putting your API keys or SSH keys, however you want to connect to it, and then Bubbles will actually figure out, hey, what's running on these hypervisors, how many GPUs are on there, how much resource RAM, and then it figures that out. I've got that all in the overview section and the resource section here.
Okay, so is
So
the current plan to sort of try and at least find other people who can help you to set up these templates so that they can be provided to everybody else?
Well, here's the thing that if you guys have if I give you the platform, you guys can build your own templates. So I've
Mhm.
made it pretty simple. Your templates would be like in here. You
Mhm.
would just configure it in here. And then once you've got this template and you know it's working in a particular way, you
Mhm.
can share this to somebody else and then they can use it, import it, and then they can spin that up themselves. If you follow.
Okay. Mhm.
Yeah?
And so does this have like a lot of applicability for things like when you're gonna need to be sort of like restarting machines very often if you're testing and things like that? So this has
There
like a
you
lot of
go.
usability, especially if people are sort of playing around with testnet or things like that. This is going to give people a huge amount of accessibility, and it's going to be sort of cutting out a little bit of that grind of resetting up a machine every single time, going through all the steps. This is sort of just going to make that super easy and quick and fast.
Exactly. So just
Okay.
what you were saying here, instead of like going physically to the infrastructure or logging in or to the actual hypervisor, because a lot of people don't like logging into the hypervisor.
Hmm.
Also, I mean, again, it's this far that I've got user access control. So say if you even want to share it with certain users, you don't want to give them the full permissions of the system. I'm just keeping this demo pretty basic. Um, you can get them to just do like some of the basic actions. It's like, hey, stop the instance, start the instance,
Hmm.
restart it, rebuild it, right? If something is going on and you want to see, let me take a look at what's happening in the console right now. So right now, I think I'm blowing a bubble. You can
Hmm.
take a look at where it is in the blowing bubble process.
Okay,
So
so it has sort of like a timeline on it.
you can see, hey, this is what it's doing. It's doing all the configurations here. So
Okay.
once this is all set up, so here this is the if you saw remember that profile, it's
Hmm.
running those installation scripts so that
Okay.
actually that it should be fully read up. When this is up and running, you can literally go to this one's already built. So let's go here, copy, paste, Control V. The application should just be up and ready, right?
Ah, okay. Hmm.
So it's doing all the work for you. So this is and this is just repeatable. You can get any one of your guys, or if you're running this in production, just spin up blow a bubble here, and it spins up
Hmm.
the platform for you. And then it will do all those post hook scripts. So any type of automation, like I was saying, if you for you guys opening up the firewall to the world, and then when you're done with it, burst a bubble.
Yeah.
So when you actually want to shut it down, free up resources, I'll go here, uh, burst a bubble. It has, hey, I want to close those firewall ports, email
Hmm.
out whoever I want to email, and now it's going to the hypervisor and shutting all those down.
Okay.
So you don't need to go to the physical infrastructure anymore once this is all set up. You know, once Proxmox is running on there and you've got bubbles connecting on there, you can now go remotely, spin up everything, spin down everything. And so this is
Okay.
why I'm saying that let's compete with the big guys. We don't need to use their cloud platform. If you've
Hmm.
just got servers, you install Proxmox on those servers. You have a copy of Bubbles locally that connects to all your servers. You've essentially got yourself a private cloud. So,
Wow. Okay. I mean,
so
if we can move it on to Q&A, just because time's getting on a little bit, but this is very, very interesting. If anybody has anything they want to chime in with,
let
Sam, if you
me
have any input.
Let me quickly show you a proof of concept of the GPUs, just so you can see.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions that sort of come in the meantime,
Sure,
we can throw them up. Or Fam, if you have any thoughts
sure.
of your own.
Let's see.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, no, this is dope. So this is basically like an interface for Proxmox, or like a more intuitive like interface that connects Proxmox for like, let's say, organizations, and like, any, is that correct? Like, so Bubble's kind of like its own like set over like SSH machines that like people, or sorry, Linux machines that people essentially can share without having to use AWS or GCP. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's
Okay.
correct. So if you've got Proxmox here, I've got this Proxmox node over here.
Mm-hmm.
And on this Proxmox node, you can see I'm running two NVIDIA A4000s, right? Right now, I've got no VMs running. And let's say that I want to build a VM with one GPU. I would just go here, build one VM with a GPU. So it's building a VM. Let's see if you can see this over here. You can see it starting up over here. I'm importing the GPUs. I'm starting the Ubuntu platform, and it's up and ready. So let us go and check what's going on here. Console. So let's start this up. Da-da-da. And if I log in, Dubin, here we go. And let's go nvid sudo NVIDIA SMI. And you can see it's imported that GPU right there,
Nice.
right? If I want to do another one, I'll do the second GPU on the server, and you'll see that it'll pop up any second here. Building the GPU, importing the GPU, starting it, and the same process. And then really what I would do if you want multiple GPUs, I would go GPU1, GPU2, GPU3, GPU4, and then it pulls in those number of GPUs. And so when you're done with it, we can actually just kill the VM and then recreate it again. And as soon as this thing starts up, it'll run your commune or your modules, whichever one. That's what I'll put inside Bubbles, and you should be good to go. So it should just make your life easier, either in development or deployment.
Okay, if you want to put any links in the event stage chat channel, so there should be if you should be able to jump in there. If you put any links in there so that anybody else has access, and we'll carry those over into the events channel so that they're a little bit more permanent. But yeah, it looked really, really interesting, especially for sort of like that automation and the helping and specifically testing is sort of where my personal eye leans towards, like the ability to sort of cut out a lot of the chaff from trying to spin things up over and over again when you're trying to test if something's working.
Exactly.
So I'm very excited about that. But yeah, it doesn't look like there's any sort of last minute questions. So again, put any links or anything else in that you want everybody to have access to. And otherwise, this has been really, really good. Thank you for coming on.
Hey, no worries. Thank you. I'll send you guys links to my email, and I'll send you my website. So yeah, great,
Okay,
great to present from you.
perfect. Thanks, Zubin.
Awesome.
No worries.
Cheers.
Awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
So next we're going to move on to Comsci. They have some updates that they want to talk about that they've been working on recently. So we're going to bring up head developer here. And then they'll be able to show us what they've been working on, because they've been very quietly making a significant number of updates to what's been going on. So you can take it away here, Gostak. You are currently muted.
Oh wait. Okay, can you hear me now?
Perfect. Yes. Hello.
Okay, awesome. Okay, hey, really excited to be here. Also, can we bring the other guys as well on stage?
Yeah, I can bring them up now if you like.
Okay, awesome. Sounds great. Yeah, so like I'm really excited to see what you guys think of Comsci. So the whole idea behind the project is that we want to build much of the infrastructure to allow people to use science-related tool within the Commune ecosystem as seamlessly as possible. So our idea was to create like the basic infrastructure that would give you that would give users the same or even better experience as with proprietary software, but within the open source ecosystem. And of course, we would not expect for any of you to come build on this platform if there's nothing built on top of it, right? So what we thought that would be a really good start for us to begin doing is to start building the first consumer-facing applications. So the first application we decided to try to develop is a search engine that allows you to cut through the noise of all scientific papers that are being published in your given field of interest. And that give you an idea of the problem that we saw. Like if you're interested, and I would assume that many of you would be interested in a field or papers that are published within the field of AI, right? So there's about 30,000 papers published every year within that field. So that's roughly just under 100 papers a day, and I would bet none of us has time to read through all those papers.
Absolutely not.
So right. So what we would need, and what we actually do need, is a tool that allows us that can kind of predict which of all the papers that are published are likely to be the most important ones. So we can only focus our attention in those papers, right? And what conventional search engines have been doing is that they have mostly two types of classification. So they either rank papers based on date, which is great if you work if you're interested in a really narrow field like ZKML or something. That's you can actually keep up on all the new papers. Or if you're interested in a broader field, then the only way to keep the only way you can rank papers based on importance is based on citations, which means how many times other people have referred to this work.
Like popularity.
And that works pretty exactly, but that only works for old papers, because new papers have not had time to be cited yet, because there's a cycle, right? So you need a year or two for the paper to come out, for people to see it, and then they prepare new work and they cite it within the new work.
Okay,
so this metric of citation, exactly, there's a period of invisibility. But many of us would like to see things within the first year or two that they come out, right? And now we have much more tools and much more computing at our disposal, where we can actually predict which papers of the newly published ones are likely to be the most important ones. And that's what we've tried to do with Comsci Search. So we've created, and if one of the guys can share, because I end up logging in from the phone, we've created a search engine. Yeah, sorry, because I had some mic issues. So we've created a search engine, which you can find at comsci.ai, where in effect we went for now in a single data source, which is in a single repository, which is archive, and we scraped back all papers going back decades, all papers in all subjects. So now we've scraped about half of all papers published on archive, and we plan to integrate multiple sources. We plan to integrate by the end of this weekend or beginning of next week. We expect to have Semantic Scholar, data from Semantic Scholar as well.
Is this for all topics held within those repositories?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay.
So it should be millions. It should be
not even like one or two or three topics. This is like every topic that they
no. Yeah. So last time
wow.
we spoke, so that's the main thing we've been working on. So last time we spoke, we were we would do the search engine, which is actually done, right? So if it doesn't come through because I cannot see it from Darius's screen.
Yeah, I can see perfectly fine. I assume everybody else can. I haven't had anyone say they can't see, so.
Okay, I cannot, but it's fine. Maybe it's fine. What you So now, right now we have a search engine that's perfectly functional and can rank papers based on their date, right? Which, as I said, is not particularly useful. So if you can literally type any word and you will get the results. But it's not like you have to have in mind this is not a fully finished product because it's only half of the papers within archive. So we need our scrappers to finish scrapping all of archive before it's fully functional, right? But for what we're integrating now is a tool that's called bibliometric analysis within our search engine, which in effect will be able to predict which of the papers are likely to have are likely to be the most impactful of the recently published papers. And the search engine that you see is the first interface with users, but like we will also, we know that many people don't want to use a search engine, so and that's completely fine. We gather the data, we see which of the keywords are the most popular, and then we will create dedicated Twitter bots which you can follow. And I know that most people want to have the results, like, want to have a couple of tweets every week or so, and then like they would not really want to use a search engine. So we will have Twitter bots in the near future where you can just get notifications every time something that's likely to be very impactful is published. Again, this is not going to be perfect, right? It's just it's a prediction of perceived popularity, but it should be much better than random. So yeah. So yeah, like I mean, I think that I think we can jump to any questions. Again, I can still not see the screen, so I don't know what has been shared. Like, so I don't know if you have seen the search engine. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay. But I mean, can we try just putting like artificial intelligence in the search engine, for example, and showing everybody?
Yeah. So like, if you look for zero knowledge proof, it's the first button. Then you would see a score on your right. Okay. And that score would be the score based on the bibliometrics. So this is still the
scoring system.
Exactly, but this is not yet fully integrated. So like if you look for any other keyword, you will not see that score. So this is still to be integrated. So like our priorities are. So yeah, we had to go do the bibliometrics manually, and we've added it on the we've added it for this particular keyword. So now we're still working.
Automate that over time for the other topics, so that obviously
yes, and it like and it will be fully automated now. So last time we spoke, we were expecting to have to do the work every time. Like we expected it to be much more computationally intense. But like now, I think maybe with some slight latency, people will be able to have directly the ranking when they perform search live, which is, I think it should be a pretty useful product and a very good start. And then we're very excited to start building more, like would be very excited to see what people would like to see us build and would like to build, and then we can start going towards those directions.
Okay, I mean, is there a function, for example, if you were to look at one of these papers that will automatically redirect you to the other citations if you were to click on them?
Yes.
Okay.
The other site. Yeah, you will go to the original source, right? So if you clicked any of those papers, we redirect you to the original source. So then you can see the citations, you can see everything.
Okay. So it takes you to wherever the pre-existing paper is hosted. So it's not actually hosting the paper itself.
No. So it will always. So we will be an aggregator, and then kind of a filter, right? That's pretty much what we. That's pretty much what we. That's what we've designed so far. But again, I'll be. We're very open to see what the community is mostly interested at, and go. We can take this on many different directions. To be honest.
Is the plan to sort of implement the traditional forms of ranking as well as obviously your new unique bibliographical one?
Yes. So we will have, for sure, we'll have date. So that's the standard. That's the standard ranking that everybody does.
Yeah.
And then Yeah, so exactly. So we'll have at least so the idea is to have date and then Comsci ranking, which is the bibliometric analysis essentially.
Mm-hmm. Bakos asked if you are planning to make a subnet surrounding this.
So yes, so the we're now discussing, especially as we start integrating more and more data, more and more sources, and especially as we will want to integrate things behind paywalls that require keys. Then we will actually, the first thing we will open up for mining will actually be scrapping from different sources.
Okay.
So right now it's archive. We're ready. We have almost the scrapper ready for Semantic Scholar, but then we want to have as many sources as possible. So that includes Web of Science, that includes all other sources, many of which require keys, and we will open it up. We'll open mining up for mine. Yeah.
Okay, no, that sounds really, really good. So in terms of like how far off your what you'd consider like a goal is, sort of how far off your next post are you?
So I think when we have, even if it's just archive, just single source, if we're close to having all data just from archive, and then we have the ranking integrated in it, I think it's a very decent product. It's a product that's pretty usable. Now, to be 100% honest with you, right now it will not give you anything more than what archive would give you, right? Because if we don't have the ranking, then it will not. Exactly. So that's the whole. That's the whole value add we have.
That's like phase one of the value add, I guess.
Exactly, and then it's going to be the aggregator, right? So then we'll have instead of having to go to different sources, we'll have literally like we'll try to have every source aggregated within Comsci search.
Okay, wow. No, that sounds incredible. Again, if anybody has any questions, feel free to sort of throw them in. This is like it seems very, very simple to begin with, but it's adding a lot of additional functionality and especially allowing you to, again, as was mentioned, cut through a lot of the chaff and the things that you don't want to have to scroll through or maybe aren't graded appropriately based on their usefulness and are graded based on some other arbitrary metric.
Yeah. And let me ask you, and do you think what's your take on Twitter bots versus search engine, for example? Like, what's your take on the interface? Do you think Twitter bots would be more useful?
I mean,
or like the search engine sounds like a better
if you were
way
asking for my personal opinion, it would always just be why not try both?
Oh yeah, we will do both. Yeah.
That's generally always my opinion. If you have multiple options and it's possible, just try them all. And then quite often you sort of, I find anyway, that you answer your own questions. And the community as well, especially being a community-driven project, that as everybody sort of gets to have a look at both, they'll get to make up their opinions for themselves. But I mean, Bakos suggested that the search engine seems to be better for a lot of normies or non-developers. But again, so that it might be good to have both, so that it has something tailored to different audiences, for example. I'm very excited to see what comes out of it, though. This is something, especially someone who's struggled with getting through citations and trying to find papers that not only have relevance for like the exact question that you're trying to answer, but also just really, really good quality information surrounding the topic as a whole. This is something that's incredibly helpful.
Okay, awesome, man. Thanks a lot, and I'm really excited to show you guys what we end up building next.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if there's any more suggestions, they're always welcome. Like, they're incredibly valuable for us.
I had a question. Do you ever intend on doing this for like GitHub repos? Like, for instance, like one problem we were trying to solve is like, how do we make sure? Well, for one, I think it'd be nice to have a GitHub repo finder too, and maybe even for like reading papers. For ML papers, a lot of them have GitHub repos, so like, it'd be interesting to like search for like the new implementations or like the some fringe implementations. Or I'm not sure if that makes sense.
That is something we haven't thought of, but might be a very Like that might definitely be one idea to think going forward.
I mean, it sounds like a really, really interesting, especially if also you're just considering is something possible or has someone already made something similar to this that I can sort of use instead of having to try and develop it for myself. Especially when it comes to obviously finding GitHub repos that can save you a lot of time in, oh, has somebody already done this? And I can just sort of use what they've taken and then start building what I wanted without having to do all of the foundational steps beforehand. So yeah, I think that's an incredible idea.
Yeah, let's maybe we can discuss, like, we can build more in it offline, maybe, fam. That'd be like, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, Yike said that a search engine with a Twitter bot that posts about the searches it does could be really, really cool.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Okay.
Sort of
Yeah,
like
so we
advertising what
intend.
it is that it's searching for.
Yeah, exactly. So like we want to have something uh, like a dedicated AI bot, zero knowledge, whatever, like zero knowledge proofs bot. Like, so we want to see what people end up searching the most, and just making a handful of Twitter bots that would that people on the topics that people are the most interested in.
Yeah, no, I mean that sounds great. I think it's
Awesome, man.
it's super interesting, and it's being someone who's dealt with citations and papers, just already being able to see at like step one how useful it's going to be, and then considering what can be built sort of advanced from it. It's incredibly exciting for myself personally. Anyway,
Awesome, man. I'm really glad. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
no, I mean thank you for building good stuff that people want to see.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.
If there's any more questions, then people can sort of feel free to reach out to you guys or continue putting it in the chat.
Yeah.
Otherwise, thank you so
And
much
we
for
have.
coming up.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. Thank you all, guys.
Cheers. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Right.
And now we have Krishna from Comstats, who has some stuff that he wants to talk about, what they've been doing in the background as well.
Hello. Hi. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Are you able to?
Hi,
Hey,
Krishna. How are you?
Kansa. Good. How are you?
I'm perfect. I'm wonderful. Thank you. So what have you got for us today?
Awesome. So I'm going to talk about the use to earn kind of the features that we are going to launch on Comstats. So it is a part of the B2 that we are working on right now. And for the B2, we are completely changing the design, and everything is coming up in the charts, graphs, and all the analytical kind of the things, whatever we have in the data structure for the Commune AI, that is coming up. But this use to earn feature is something a little bit different because we want to make the participation from the community something to boost the engagement within the community. So that is what we are trying to target with this feature. So let me share my screen and I will explain it
Okay, so
in,
this was used to earn, was it, you said?
yes, use to earn.
Okay.
Give me a second. I will just
Yeah, no problem.
share the screen. All right. So I think my screen is visible, right?
Yeah, I can see fine. If anybody else can't, then by all means, let us know. But otherwise, there will always be the recording.
All right. So we are introducing the Comstat points in the whole ecosystem so that whatever the community, whatever the users are trying to do, they will get some kind of the points, and it will be in a gamified kind of the structure. So, example, you can earn the Comstat points by doing the staking, by the length of the staking, or whichever modules you are staking to, you will get the point. And if you also do some kind of the transfer, also you will get the point. If you do some kind of the contents, for example, there might be a tweet from the Commune AI Twitter handle that we will show on the Comstats website, and if you just retweet it or if you comment it, you'll get the points. The main target for it is to make something, the participation and engagement level a little bit higher, so that we have the goals to make Commune AI Twitter handle to have more than 100K followers. Those kind of the goals will be there. So there will be a lot of there will be a lot of the quest and the things for the users to do and participate, instead of just Right now, what we are seeing is people are, if they are the technical, then they are doing the subnet or the miner or the validator. They are getting that part. But if you are non-technical, then you are just holding the token and staking it to earn the passive income, right? So we
Mhm.
want to make another layer where the engagement also comes, and it should be a fun way to do that, because if there is no fun, then the people will not participate in that, right? So we are
Yeah.
trying to make all these different kind of the engagement kind of the features. So
Mhm.
bug reporting is also there to incentivize the users. And if you also come to the website, if you come to do something, you can do the daily check-in also. You will get these
Mhm.
kind of the streaks to get the points. And if you also participate in the DAO for the on-chain also, there is already, I think, there is already the proposal that has been, I think, approved for
Mhm.
getting the rewards for the DAO participation. So it will be on top of that also. So
Okay. Is
if
this
you,
going to be a token in and of itself, or is this going to be sort of points aggregated in another way?
it will be the point aggregation right now,
Mhm.
but
Okay.
we'll talk about the token part later.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, right now just think about the points only, but that points can be used. So the last one we have here is the refer and earn also. For example, if you refer another wallet or the another user, and if that user is stake in any of the modules, then you will earn some percentage of that also. So we are trying
Mhm.
to, incentivize with the points right now. So these all the points that you can accumulate, or you can use that point for voting. Okay. So this voting
Yeah.
is a little bit different from the on-chain voting that is happening on the Commune AI. This voting is the social voting. So the social voting will happen maybe weekly kind of things or the monthly kind of things. So it will decide something like best module of this month or best subnet of this month. So those kind of the votings will happen within the community, so that people will
Mhm.
engage what is happening in the community. And if they have a say on something like, okay, this module is really useful and we need to give some kind of the level, then
Mhm.
they can participate in that. And uh, the users, they can vote with these kind of the points.
Yeah.
And another things is like the platform discount is there, because to verify, to get the badges also, to get the golden badge or the blue badge, and
Mhm.
to do the
Mhm.
transaction also, there are some kind of the fee. Those fee will be discounted if you use those kind of the points. And
Okay.
if we have another, like the collaboration or any kind of the things with another project, if there are any of the modules that are trying to launch on the Commune AI, and if they are trying to just do some kind of the giveaway, they can just come here and use those points to exchange for the reward. So that is uh, the use case for those kind of the points. And another part is the token that you said, if we launch, okay, this
Mhm.
is not decided. And this is not decided. So if we launch the token, then obviously these points will be converted into the Comstats token. Uh, it is not decided yet, but if we see some kind of the the DeFi and the dApps kind of the things coming into the community, but it is not feasible right now, because we cannot write the smart contract on the on the blockchain level right now with
Mhm.
whatever we have. But if there comes a possibility with the DeFi and all the smart contract thing, then obviously we'll love to have the Comstats token, and at that point, these points can be converted. So that is one thing. And another part is like the weekly raffle also will introduce these kind of things, where people can just buy the tickets using the points. It is kind of the gambling kind of things, lottery kind of the things, but it is
Mhm.
to make more fun in the community. So
Yeah.
yeah, with the points you earn, just you can buy the ticket. And we will allocate a certain pot, a reward pot of every week, uh, from the platform earnings and everything. So we'll
Mhm.
keep it there, and we'll choose the winner, maybe 15 winners or the 10 winners every week, something for the community to engage with. Okay, so we want to make the community really active. They do things more than just staking. So this is one part. And other things will be on the leaderboard quest side. So we will, like I said earlier, maybe the tweet from the community handle, we will just put in the quest side. And if that quest is something like, okay, yeah, if it reaches like the 50 comments or 50 repost, then uh, the all the participant will get some points on that, or
Okay.
they will get the Comai also. Yeah. So
Mm.
these kind of the leaderboard will be set up, and it will be daily, weekly, and the monthly challenges will be there for the users to earn the points and the rewards. So it is one part, and there is also the module spotlight. But the module spotlight, it will come from the voting side. The social voting that we are trying to introduce is something like. Uh, there can be the new kind of the modules or the new projects that are trying to achieve some kind of the goals but lacking the visibility. So
Yeah.
for them also, they can have the entry level kind of the category. They can come to this category, and if they get voted by the community, then obviously we will allocate some of the Komai also stick to that modules, and they will also get the points for that. And
Hmm.
it is all about like making the community active right now. So
Yeah,
this
just
is
getting people to sort of
uh,
play around with everything and take part in everything
yes,
that's going on, get them to like express their opinions and express their voice
exactly.
and make them incentivized to do so, even if it's like points that don't actually directly translate to anything physical. It's it's some form of gratification.
Right. Yeah, it is not the token. It is the points only. But these
Hmm.
points can be used for different kind of the activities that we do normally on the Comstats. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
this is a part. It will come before the B2. The Comstat 2.0 is coming up, and in that it will be completely different kind of the platform that you are going to see from what
Hmm.
we are seeing right now. So it will be. I would say like it will be more than the Tower Stars. Whatever we see on the Tower Stars, we are completely going to build that
Hmm.
in terms of design and in terms of usability also. So we recently hired a new member on our team also to design each and everything part in a professional way. So
Hmm.
yep, these are the
Okay.
updates going on.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds incredible. It sounds like it's already sort of moving towards hitting the nail on the head for getting people to take part without necessarily it costing them anything per se.
Right. It doesn't cost anything. This is what they are doing it right now also, but on
Hmm.
top of the rewards that are they are getting as a form of the staking and as a form of like the minor incentives,
Hmm.
they are getting it on top of that. So it is free to earn kind of things like use Tron. If you are using the platform, then you are earning the points, and
Hmm.
those points will convert it into some kind of the value for using that. So
Okay.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I
That's
mean, if
really cool.
anybody has any questions, then feel free. Yeah, go ahead, fam. Sorry.
Cool. I'm curious. Like, do you think of like ways to incentivize early voters? Like, let's say, I was thinking of like kind of like mimicking tokenomics, like micro tokenomics for each like validator, where like if someone stakes on the validator and then a lot of people stake after that, then I believe, in my opinion, the person that staked
Mm.
first, like the earlier you staked, the more APR you should get, or the more
Right.
reward you can get. Obviously, that's an opinion, so that might not be true or right, but I just think that like just having that rule could really activate a lot of active staking, because like with constant APR, it's relatively constant, but like um,
Yeah. Like fam, I think you got disconnected maybe, but I got the point. Like what you are trying to say. There should be some kind of the benefits for like the early commerce or the first commerce, within the system. So we might introduce something like that also, because it will be in the form of the leaderboard, right? So and in the leaderboard there will be like the weekly, daily, and the monthly kind of things, so that
Hmm.
if you are participating daily, then you will obviously get some reward part or the reward points on that basis. So if you come late or
any
if
like
you are
plan.
part of the monthly, yeah.
Sorry.
Carry on, Krishna. Sorry, carry on.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, obviously, like the first comers, they will benefit when they do the quest and everything, because like if we say like if you are staking in this module, first, or the top 10 or the top 20 of the stakers, they will get these kind of the points. Then we can obviously you know make the benefit for those kind of the first comers. So, but
Nice.
we'll think about that also. Yeah, obviously.
Cool. That's what.
And
Will this be on Solana? Oh, sorry.
no, it will be on the Comstat side. We are not launching the token, fam. Like we will think about that, but we want to make the engagement level with the point systems. It will be on the
Okay.
That's only. Yeah, not on the Solana.
Okay. Yeah. No. No. I think that's really cool. I think it's a really cool idea.
Right.
Like, yeah, and even I think like having a leaderboard is really cool. And so, do you intend to connect this with a token system if you decide to do a token?
We have a plan, but we want to do it natively. Like we are actually looking into different kind of the protocols. At least trying to see like how the Substrat framework can support the smart contract and all those.
Hmm.
It is
Yeah.
not that good, but we'll try to see if we get the solution. And if we get the solution, we want to do it natively within the Commune AI. Those kind of the token launches are as a layer 2 on top of the Commune AI also. So we are in the research phase. That's why it
Oh,
is
nice.
not
Like,
100%. Yeah.
like I would, I would recommend. Well, okay, I don't know if I'm legally able to recommend anything, but 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 like I'm a big believer in a multi-chain future, and the way ideally I kind of want like Commune obviously to be a mosaic of different like tokens connecting into like a unified framework, but I also believe that tokens should exist. Like tokens should be are like, to my opinion, are like LLCs. Like they give you a lot of like the benefit. Well, actually, no, I don't know if that's true. Never mind. I'm not gonna say. I don't mean that. But I mean like tokens are kind of like, they can be like receipts for like people, or like they can actually represent how useful you are to other people, and like it gives people, if like developers did it, then it's like kind of like they can use tokens as like a receipt of like, oh, you supported me for this much, or with this much, like in US dollar amount. And even just like, and it doesn't have to be anything, but like I do think this kind of gets like, I'm not sure how to talk about this without making it sound, it's not, I'm trying to make it not sound like a security, but really you kind of want to make a utility, like, which gives you the same benefits of an LLC if you peg what the token is that you make with like the utility, whether it's proof to earn or like whatnot, right? And I do see this happening. Like you're gonna see a big wave of like AI tokens on ERC20s and probably Solana, and you probably already do. um, but like I feel like we should really encourage or make it really easy for people to create such tokens. Like I'm helping some friends on the side, that like some friends, like they want to make, let's say, a token for something. Like one person wants to do like a token for like jailbroken models, and they might want to do a subnet. And so like, the way I'm thinking of it maybe is like, oh, we could make a subnet, and then you can have the token as well be pegged with the subnet. So like this kind of like connects the token, but it also gives the person who owns that token an additional form of like leverage, in terms of like I could, like, I don't need to rely on Commune, but I can like use Commune as a bootstrap, and so I think we can like serve as a bootstrap for many of these like AI projects, and that's kind of, I guess, it's the goal. I'm not sure. We don't have to do that, but maybe we can, like, that could be subnet zero.
I mean, it could be interesting. We never know. It's one of those things. One of the beautiful things is that as stuff sort of starts to pop up and ideas start to begin to be formulated, they'll be sort of like latched onto by the community, right? And they'll be uplifted ideally, organically, and naturally through that. So sort of every idea has the potential of catching a little bit of wind and taking off.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. No.
No, but thank you so much, Krishna. This looks like very interesting. I think it's gonna help sort of get a lot more people just a little bit more involved and engaged and willing to sort of take part and interact.
Right. And just want to add the last part. Like that is one part what Fam is telling. Like the pegging with the subnet. And while we researched last week, we have been researching. I think sometimes like I also talked with the Fam about the token system, and we are actually trying to bring the smart contract, but if that is not possible, then we can at least do something like the inscription level. We can build the indexer for the blocks of the Commune AI also. So something like the BRC20 or something, that we can natively do, but that is not, like completely decentralized, right? So we have to build the
Yeah.
indexer of the, yeah. So
Yeah,
we
like
can definitely do it instead of going into the cross chain or the multi chain, but uh, at this level it is on research. So let's wait few more months and how we going to launch this one. But obviously this use turn will be, I think, helpful, and we are taking the feedbacks from the community. So any feedbacks from the community, please or say to us, or you can directly DM also me in the Discord, so that we know what features community wants to use and what we want to see. So yeah, thank you so much.
And just as a shout out once again, if you want to remind everyone of when collision is occurring.
Yeah, so the collision event is going to be on June 20th, a month from now. So
Mhm.
we'll be on the Toronto, Canada. We will have a food section for the day, whole day, and we'll be there for 3 days, but only one day we are showing up Commune AI and the Comstats as a whole.
Mhm.
So we'll be doing the presentation also in one of the event there. So yeah, looking forward to that on June 20th. Obviously, if
nice.
you are coming to the collision, yeah.
I can see if we could. I know like a few people, like AI people and crypto people in this, like in the area. Maybe we can like throw an AI and crypto an event or something, because there's a lot of events that are happening. Like I'm not sure if you know of Wombo, but like I'm kind of like friends with some of them. So like, and I've gone to a lot of their events, and they're just one. Like there's a few others. There's like Cohere. There's a lot of like different like startups that I feel like, and as well as like crypto startups that like maybe we can it's like find a space and then all like pitch in and then like do something and then kind of talk about crypto AI and stuff.
Yeah, that will be awesome. Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that would be really, really
Yeah,
Let's
incredible.
have a
yeah,
Sort of
yeah.
getting
I'll
more
see.
exposure and having some like real world exposure and participation would be really nice.
Yeah, awesome.
But yeah,
For
so
sure.
again, that was June 20th, was it, Krishna?
right.
Yeah, so or June 20th through to 22nd, I believe, right? It's the Thursday through to the Saturday.
Yeah, it is a 3-day event, but one day like we'll have a booth and the presentation. So yeah, for
Mhm.
particular June 20th.
Yeah, so if anybody's in the area, or again, if there's anything that like other project managers and things like that, if there's anything that you want sort of Comstats to potentially, it's worth talking to them if you have something that you think they should show off, and if they're in agreement, obviously maybe they'll take that up themselves and give you a little bit of free advertising. But otherwise, I want to thank everybody who came on tonight. This was really, really good. We're going to close it down. If anybody has any last minute questions, then by all means throw them out there. But again, thank you to everybody who came up. It's been incredible.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's been great.
Looks like we're mostly closed out. So with that, I'll say thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful weekend once you get there. Saturday. Yes, because it's Thursday. Yeah, everybody have a wonderful rest of your week.
Awesome. Have a good week.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.